G'day, I'm Graham Lloyd and welcome to this preview of the first 10 lessons of the Graham Lloyd Music Mastering the Foundations of Music video package. All up, there are 20 lessons, but in this short video I will present only a minute or two from each of the first 10 lessons only. So let's get into it. The Mastering the Foundations of Music package consists of 20 videos that are each 20 to 30 minutes in length. You can pause them or rewind them as often as you wish to assist you in attaining clarity on any particular part of the lesson, plus you have the advantage of being able to watch the complete video as many times as you need, anywhere and at any time that suits you. The biggest advantage of videos is that they allow the use of both our visual and aural senses. Unlike traditional training methods where music examples are printed on paper or presented on a CD, leaving the student to perform the examples themselves, which almost never happens unless the student is a practiced pianist, or wade through 2 or more CDs attempting to find a particular track that gives an often very short music example. Oftentimes the examples are simply ignored, thereby losing the most valuable learning from a musician's perspective, that is the development of their aural acuity. With the Mastering the Foundations of Music package, any aural examples needed to support the information being presented are played immediately and, when practical, shown on the screen. So you'll both hear and see music examples at the precise time the information is needed, namely when the information is being initially digested. A great feature with the videos is the active table of contents. It's located on the right-hand side of the play bar. By hovering over the table of contents icon on the play bar, a list of headings will appear. If you click on a particular heading, you will instantly jump to that part of the video. It makes reviewing specific parts of the video so much easier. The Mastering the Foundations of Music package is self-assessing. Each lesson comes with a chapter of your own assignment workbook to complete in your own time. You will also receive an answer sheet so you can check your own answers as you go. There is no need to submit your assignment answers for correction, and your assignment workbook, as the lessons progress, grows to become your own book that can be reflected upon in the future. Presented in notation by what is called a note. Notes of differing lengths are represented by notes of differing but related shapes. There is only one accepted way of writing notes, but there are 2 methods of naming them. They are generally referred to as the British system and the American system. Let's look at how notes are written, and we'll initially use the British system when naming them. All written notes are related to the longest note in Western music, known as a breve, which looks like this. The breve is not often used these days. A good place to still see breves, however, is in older church hymnals or very old music. The most used long note today is half the duration of the breve, which is called a semi-breve or half breve. A semi-breve relationship between the notes looks like this. By the way, this graph has been PDF'd for you. You'll see that I've started with the longest note in music, the breve, which is equal to 2 semi-breves or whole notes. Alternatively, half a breve is a semi-breve or whole note. Half a whole note is a half note or minim. Half a minim, same way as the whole note. However, the size of the oval is fractionally smaller than that of the semi-breve, and it sits approximately 30 or so degrees off horizontal. To this slightly smaller oval, which is referred to as the note head, you add what is called a stem. This stem is positioned according to music writing conventions that we'll cover in a little more depth in our next lesson. For now, practice writing your stems pointing up on the right-hand side of the note head or down on the left-hand side of the note head. Please ensure the stem series of letter names known as the musical alphabet. There are 7 letter names in total, namely A, B, C, D, E, F and G. Moving from left to right, as you do when you read, each letter name is a step higher in pitch than the one preceding it. Writing the letters this way may be clearer in understanding the notes and their relationship to each other from a pitch perspective. These are the letter names of the white notes on a piano. If you were to look at a piano keyboard, you'd see a lot more white keys than just 7, so when we reach the letter G, we simply start over at A and repeat the letters once again as many times as is necessary or as there are white notes. On a piano, if you were to identify a group of 3 black notes as far to the left-hand side of the keyboard as you can, the white key between the second 2 of the group of black notes is A. Starting on this note, move to the next white key, this is B. The next white key is C, and so on until you reach G. So we only needed enough lines to cover 22 notes, which brought us to the great stave. The great stave was then separated to become 2 groups of 5 lines each. This group of 5 lines is known as a staff or stave. I've been accustomed to referring to this group of lines as a stave and will use this term throughout these lessons. The word staff is still reasonably common, however. The upper stave looked after the higher or treble notes, and the lower stave looked after the lower or bass notes. In this upper stave, the second line from the bottom fixed the note G above middle C. In the lower stave, the second line from the top fixed the note F below middle C. And the equivalent length rest. Let's look at the rests individually and learn how to write them, remembering that software programs generally look after the shape and positioning automatically. But, like I've said a few times already, sometimes you need to write music out by hand or override the global settings of computer-generated printed music. So you do need to know how to write these rests for occasions such as these. The Breve or double whole note rest is a filled-in block that sits in the second space from the top. Over rest starts with a small filled-in circle written in the second top space, which has a short, curved line that connects to this line here, which you'll note is drawn at an angle of roughly 60 to 70 degrees. The shape of this rest is the basis for the shape of the remaining rests. Beat or rhythm can be discerned. Whether you are musically trained or not, nearly all of us can naturally pick up on a regular or repeated rhythm pattern in music. Divided into 3 basic beat patterns, namely 2, 3, or 4. In other words, music can be grouped into recurring beat patterns of 2, 3, or 4 beats. Each pattern sees an accent on the first beat of the particular pattern, with softer accents for the remaining beats. With a 3-beat pattern, the first beat is strongly accented, with the second and third beats having a weak accent. Here's a 3-beat pattern played on an electronic metronome, with the first beat, again, being a different sound to emphasize it. I'll give you 3 renditions, and each will be at a different tempo. Now let's listen to the Eagles playing a short fragment of music in a 3-beat pattern. I'll precede the music with a 3-beat pattern on the metronome to get you beat orientated. The upper number for now will only be 2, 3, or 4 to represent duple, triple, or quadruple time. The lower number will be the bottom number of the American system of note naming. So, a beat representing an 8th note will have the number 8 as the lowest number in the time signature. If the beat is a half note, then the number 2 will be the lowest number in our time signature. If our beat is a 32nd note, then the lowest number will be the number 32, and so on. In reverse, if I were to write a time signature of, say, 4/4, way too soon in relation to the 3-beat pattern rhythm required. Using our newly learned phrase, complete the pulse, complete the beat, complete the bar, we can insert a 16th note rest here to complete the pulse, then an 8th note rest next to it to complete the beat. Now 2 quarter note rests to complete the bar, remembering that we avoid using rests greater in value than 1 beat's length unless we're in quadruple time, which we're clearly not in this example. So again, we complete the pulse, complete the beat, complete the bar. Notice how I've spaced the rests in that each beat can be value of beats in compound time. Is there a far simpler system? The answer is yes. How about, instead of showing the number of beats, that is 2, 3 or 4, along with these awkward fractions as part of our compound time signatures to represent the value of a beat, how about we show the pulses instead? As you've probably already worked out, the pulses are very easily divided into the whole note. However, if we're going to show the pulses as part of our time signature, then we will need to adjust the top number of the time signature to reflect the number of pulses per bar instead of the number of beats per bar. So, instead of the unwieldy time 12, as there are 4 beats with 3 pulses each, which totals 12 pulses. Please be very clear in your mind, however, that there are still 4 beats in a bar. The time signature now reflects the number of pulses when describing a time signature. The 3 qualifiers are 1. Whether the music is in simple time, 2. The number of beats per bar or measure, and 3. The value of the beats. These 3 qualifiers apply to compound time too. The first of these must now delineate between simple and compound time. Complete the pulse, complete the beat, complete the bar or measure. Let's put this phrase into action in compound time. Here we have a short fragment of music written in the compound triple time signature of 9/8 with dotted quarter note beats. The first measure has only 1 short note on the first beat, and so I have to complete the measure with rests to match the time signature. Using our phrase, complete the pulse, complete the beat, complete the bar, we can insert a 16th note rest here to complete the pulse. Then 2 8th note rests next to it to complete the beat. Finally, we complete the remaining 2 rests, remembering that we avoid using rests greater in value than 1 beat's length unless we're in quadruple time, which we're clearly not in this example. So again, we complete the pulse, complete the beat, complete this. We will have moved a tone. Consequently, moving from E to F or B to C equals a semitone, and moving from, say, G to A or D to E, etc., equals a tone. Keeping on going, moving from C to this black but 30 degrees off horizontal lines. The distance between these 2 lines is equal to the distance between 2 lines of the stave. Again, with a calligraphy pen, these 2 lines will be much thicker. The box that these 4 lines create should equal the gap of a space in the stave. To write a flat, draw a line, again equal to the distance between 3 lines of the stave, and then draw the right-hand side of a heart shape like this. The heart shape should be slightly larger than the size of a space in the stave. Avoid writing a small letter B. A small letter B can look like a note with the stem on the wrong side, so ensure the shape here is similar to the right-hand side of a heart shape. The position of these 2. Likewise, the flat symbol is positioned correctly next to the B. However, in these two notes, the two symbols are pointless as they no longer apply to the two written notes. Likewise, these two notes. Again, these first two notes have their particular sharp and flat symbols positioned correctly. When writing sharp and flat tone or semitone. When lowering a note, another semitone, we simply add a second flat symbol. These two flat symbols together are referred to as double flat. This note is B flat. To lower it one more half tone, we add another flat symbol, which gives us the note B double flat. When raising an already sharpened note by a semitone. Well, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed having a bit of a peek at snippets from the first 10 lessons of this package as much as I enjoyed putting these 10 and the following 10 lessons together. To give you an idea, lessons 11 to 20 cover subjects such as major, minor and chromatic scales, intervals, transposition, the C clef, short and open scores, and Italian terms and ornaments. I'm Graham Lloyd. See you later.